Namaste, everybody. My name is Karo, and I'm one of the founders of Trimurti Yoga, as well as an author of the original 200-hour multi-style yoga teacher training course. It was in 2011 that I decided to create this program, and because I cannot be with you right now in India to explain you the history and my vision and my ideas behind this training, Vamsi and Ajay suggested I can record a few words for you, so maybe you can understand it a little bit better, and maybe it will help you to go through this entire process a little bit more smoothly. So in 2011, when I have decided to build the program that is based on many different styles of yoga, many as we can squeeze really in 4 weeks, but still, in 2011 there was no multi-style yoga training. So you could go for pure Ashtanga, pure Hatha, pure Vinyasa. Yin didn't exist really. It did exist, but it was not super popular yet. But Iyengar, you could follow just one tradition, one particular style, and in order to understand the differences between these perspectives and approaches, you would have to go to different places, and there was no dialogue between these traditions. So that was my biggest disappointment, that I wanted to understand the wider perspective on yoga, but everybody seemed to be isolated and really very stubborn with their own visions, and traditions didn't discuss between each other, and there was no one who really would allow you to dispute or ask questions why in one tradition they will turn your elbows in, and in another they would turn your elbows out. And everything was like, this is the way, you follow me, and you just copy what I'm saying or doing. The instructions should be like this, and this is the right, proper asana. And I was really disappointed because, let me explain you a little bit of my background. So I used to work in theater, and I was working predominantly with kids and teenagers with Down syndrome, also adults as well later on. I also worked with people with schizophrenia and with different mental disabilities. So I used to work with people who barely fitted to any frame. And because they didn't fit to the frame, the society decided to exclude them from different activities. And so art, yoga, and many other really common activities, I think can include them again and give them dignity and give them the rights to be who they are and express their feelings and work with their bodies and so on and so on. So in yoga I felt a little bit like in academic theater environment, where people will tell you this is real art, this is not real art, this is real yoga, this is not real yoga, but actually nobody questions the foundations of those standards and discrimination. And so when I was traveling in India and studied with different masters and different teachers and different styles, sometimes I didn't fit perfectly to those frames. And when I started asking questions, not to offend anyone, just out of curiosity, why would you use Ujjayi? Why would you use full yogic breath? Why you are creating this kind of sequence? Or why do we believe that 90 degrees of the right foot is proper? Nobody would explain it to me, and it took me years to actually analyze the differences, the small differences between different styles, and it took me years to understand that dogma is not the answer, and yoga is such a huge field full of beautiful tools, and every single tradition has so much to offer and to share, and it can be useful for so many different people. that dogmatic way of thinking was never my cup of tea. So I just felt like a good methodology is missing there, and a good dialogue is missing there. And maybe if we all get involved and start analyzing the tools instead of just blindly copying them through years, it will be just more useful, and it can include more and more people who I believe can benefit of yoga, whether they are super flexible and fit or whether they aren't. And so I personally, I'm diabetic type 1, and so so there are days that I barely move, or my physiology is totally messed up, and it's not, I don't feel healthy, and I don't feel super shiny, and I don't feel strong. And yet yoga is a beautiful thing, even in those crises, even in those difficult moments. So I thought something is wrong here, and I wanted to build a program that is a little bit different, that brings all these tools together, that brings experts together, that brings people together to analyze different approaches, different perspectives, and different beliefs, how to practice yoga in order to eventually achieve the state of consciousness and happiness and health. And so whether we use vinyasa, hatha, ashtanga, yin, or anything else, I believe the ultimate goal is the same. But then, because we are so different, and we have different bodies, we have different minds, we have different disorders, we have different imbalances, we have different needs and likes, and so many different things, how we get there, how we work with our bodies, how we work with our minds, can be so different for many different people. And the dogmatic way of thinking that this is right way and this is not right way is just not helpful. And we can do it better. We can do better as our own teachers, and we can do better as teachers in general. So guiding students through many different tools and letting them choose what works for them and what doesn't was my ambition and my vision. And so we did it, and it grew so much. In 2011, we were first multi-style course, and honestly, I was super afraid it wouldn't work, because of course it's such a short period of time, and you want to teach people so many different aspects and different ways. But then it did work, and it does work, and this school is now 9 years old, and this program is 8 years old, and we have more and more beautiful teachers who you will have privilege to meet now, and each of them has different qualities. And there are people with beautiful sequencing, and there are people with awesome instructions, even if their sequencing is not so spectacular. And there are people with such a deep understanding of certain things, and there are people who have just this beautiful love towards people. And so we are all different, and we can learn from every single person on this planet. So my vision was to collect people for 1 month and spend this entire month together to analyze things. And sometimes they are confusing and they are contradictory, but that's the power as well. So what works for me doesn't need to work for you, and vice versa. But then at least we have a choice, and at least we can consciously vote. For me, this is the best solution. For me, I want to practice this, or I want to mix these 2 tools because this combination is such a powerful tool for me. And so I would encourage you to go through this process with the open mind and heart, and not deciding yet what you like, what you don't, what works for you, what doesn't. Just collect it, receive it. Talk to this all beautiful teachers. Talk to your classmates, and maybe after a time you will have just bigger, more beautiful and more conscious choice of what you are actually looking for in yoga. And so the whole program might be confusing, it's overwhelming for sure, and you have different personalities of teachers, and they have different sets of skills, but it's all purposely designed so that in some time when you will all digest it and you come back home and you will choose what you practice or what you teach, you have just all the colors to paint with, not only one color because I like pink. You have all of them, and just be open and stay open. What you like today might be not valid anymore tomorrow, because we are also changing, and the life is this one big process of growing and developing and evolving. So just stay open and try to receive as much as you can. Try to ask questions. What is the difference between those styles? What is the difference between those teachers? And what resonates with me today? But then also not losing memory about other things that maybe don't work for you now, but maybe they will be useful for your students, or maybe they will be useful for you, but just not now yet. So if that makes any sense, my intention was to explain you why this program looks like this. The rest, Vamsi and the beautiful team will guide you through. If you have any doubt or questions, do not hesitate to write to me. It takes me a few days to answer, but I always do. If you want to meet me, I'm not there right now, but I'm coming in the mid-November for my advanced TTC. I only work now with advanced courses because I think I can offer a lot of support and beautiful tools to people who already teach, and I want to focus on that. But nevertheless, I hope to meet you one way or another, and I absolutely wish you a beautiful, stunning month with these beautiful people. And I'm not talking only about Trimurti team, I absolutely talk about your new friends. Today you might feel awkward because they are all strangers from so many places in the world, but in 1 month you might be surprised how close for one another you became. So enjoy the process and have some fun. It's an intense program, but it's also a beautiful, playful vibe, and I'm sure our teachers will share this with you as well. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any questions, please write to me an email. I'm sure Vamsi will give it to you, and all the best. Namaste. Thank you.